Let's quickly come back and get our viewers the latest in terms of when the Supreme Court red flagged the sedition law, the law used by British to silence Mahatma Gandhi. This was as far back, viewers, as 2021. This was the Supreme Court's observation on the sedition law. I want to cut across, while we play out the graphics on the observation of the Supreme Court, to Sanjay Hegde. He's a senior lawyer. He's joining us. Sanjay Hegde, the fact is, let's leave aside political ideology in all of this. Was sedition a charge that should have been applied to this couple?
Absolutely not. This is certainly not seditious, but the law is very broadly framed. It was framed in British times, causing disaffection against the government of India by law established. As you correctly said, it was used against Bal Gangadhar Tilak, where he was defended by Jinnah. It was used against Mahatma Gandhi, where he was sentenced to nearly 6 years imprisonment, and the magistrate who sentenced him said, "I would be the happiest man if the government would release him." Post-independence, we were scheduled to get rid of the sedition law, but every government found it a useful tool. Pandit Nehru, after telling the nation that it was the prince of bad laws, did not repeal it, and nor has any government, whether it is a Congress government or whether it has been any of the other governments, the Janata Party government, the Bharatiya Janata Party, nobody has repealed it because it's a useful tool, because it also provides for imprisonment up to life. So this is something which you can use to scare off people who are disaffected with the government temporarily and want to spread that disaffection. Reading the Hanuman Chalisa or reciting the Quran or reading the Bible out loud, I don't see how it amounts to sedition. The Supreme Court read down the law in Kedarnath's case in the 1960s. It said that only a clear incitement to violence and violence actually ensuing immediately thereafter would amount to sedition. So supposing you were to tell a unit of the army that you must mutiny because X, Y, or Z has happened and your faith is in danger, then yes, sedition. But if you say something which is inconvenient, not to people's liking, it certainly is not sedition. In fact, the Supreme Court, in a case called Balbir Singh, where two Sikh gentlemen, on the day that Indira Gandhi was assassinated, raised slogans like Raj Karega Khalsa, Hindu Raj ko Bhagao, etc., etc. They said even that was not a case of sedition. So the point is that lawyers, courts very well know that what is sedition and what is not sedition. Politicians and policemen also know the law of sedition, but they still say that as long as it is there on the book, we will first book people, send them to jail, and thereafter let the court sort them out. The process becomes the punishment.
Mr. Hegde, I'm going to ask you one.
Thanks, Preeti.
Right. No, I'm going to ask you one more quick question, sir, before I let you go. Not to attach any motive to what went down today, but the fact that the High Court today completely dismissed the plea when it came down and actually said, we're just looking at what the High Court observed in this particular case.
I am not privy to exactly what the High Court has said, but possibly the High Court may have said that it is not a case for bail at this stage. The offence is still to be investigated or something like that. That exactly makes out my point that it's very easy to invoke sedition. Very few cases actually go to the stage of trial. Before that itself, the administration does not grant sanction for the prosecution. But while it lasts, it's certainly useful to keep people in jail for some period of time. And that's what seems to have happened.
All right, Mr. Hegde, thank you for joining us. A tool of intimidation. That's what at least sedition has been used for, where various states are concerned. Appreciate it, Mr. Hegde.